Everyone. Today, I want to talk about what small businesses get wrong when it comes to digital marketing. There's a lot of things that we see as people come through the doors asking questions about how to market their business and all the things. And there's a lot of opportunity for us to explore different businesses. And we've sort of started putting together this list of things that we see where small businesses just really struggle. The first big thing is misunderstanding the target audience. So, a lot of business owners, particularly in the smaller business space, tend to forget about or ignore their audience. And so they talk as if they are their audience. And we see that a lot. So, people will come in with these websites where the target user or the target person that we're trying to sell a product or service to is kind of ignored. And the website is all about the company that we're looking at, but not about their audience. And that tends to create a world where the audience feels disconnected from you and they don't feel like you're talking to them. It's kind of like if you're looking for a really, really expensive car and you're looking at a website and all they're talking about is gas mileage. It's like, well, if you're looking to buy $100,000 car, you probably don't really care whether it gets 30 miles of the gallon or 100 miles of the gallon. If you're spending that kind of money, I mean, you might, but probably not. So that in that case, that target audience is ignored. It happens a lot more than you think. Where just the imagery, the language, the messaging does not align with an audience. And it's typically because nobody stops to take the time to actually figure out who their audience is and create avatars and personas and all the things around that. So that's the first big thing. The second big thing is neglecting search engine optimization. Most small businesses see SEO as a waste of money or a waste of time, or it's too hard, or it's not going to work, or all these things. And the reality is, if you don't at least take some basic steps towards doing some SEO work for your business, you're going to always struggle to have any sort of organic leads coming into your business, which just means either they have to be word of mouth, somebody else sends them to you, or you have to pay for every single click that you get. So without organic traffic coming, those are really the only options that you have is some sort of paid medium or, a referral. So I want to show you some real quick things. Just check, search for your business, see if this pops up. This is your Google business profile. If you don't see this when you're looking for your business name and you don't have one, if you service any sort of physical location, you want to make sure you have a Google business profile. And you can also always pick on my wife's website, but you can pop your stuff into a tool like Ahrefs website authority checker and you can look. Now, my wife has done absolutely no work on search engine optimizing, and her business is completely full all the time. But that's because her business is humongous word of mouth, and there's really no one else in our location that does what she does. So she doesn't really have to worry about this right now. But one day she probably will, and we'll probably be able to help her out with that. But if you look at a domain rating like this, it just out of 100, it tells you how strong you are. So you can see very, very small domain authority on this. And if somebody came to me and said, I'm having trouble generating leads, and they've got a domain authority of 8, kind of tells me, hey, we probably need to pay attention to SEO. So those are just some real quick tips. There's other stuff like Bright Local, I believe, has a local SEO checker. Check your stuff and see how you fare. The third thing is overlooking the importance of a cohesive digital strategy. So, a mistake that we often see opposite to people not paying attention to SEO is they only worry about SEO. And that's a big problem. If you only attack one facet of marketing, most likely you're going to have a really hard time. The other thing that people will do is what we call the spaghetti approach, which is they just grab this giant bowl of spaghetti and they just chuck it. And it's like whatever that spaghetti hits is what it hits. And everyone feels like we're being successful because we're doing something, right? Like I did my post this week. Well, if they're not engaging and no one reads them and you're spending 5 hours out of your Monday creating all this content that nobody's seeing, you might be wasting your time. Now, I say that everyone has to start somewhere. We battle it all the time. Like, where do we want to spend our time and energy? But not thinking through that is a mistake that we see a lot of small businesses make. We see a lot either one hyper focus, or we see the spaghetti approach where we focus on everything and therefore nothing actually occurs. So you want to make sure that you have a strategic plan. Kind of goes back to who are we talking to? What are we selling? And how do we get those people to come to our business online? All that plays in, but that's definitely something to pay attention to. Number four is ignoring data. A lot of small businesses make decisions based on heart or feeling or based on what some social influencer has said on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Here's the thing, like, not everything that people say is true or false. Like, everything has a particular side to each story, right? Some of the things that we say, some other marketing agency might say differently, and it always depends on the circumstance, the client, all the things. But one thing I can tell you is, if you build your marketing plan in lieu of any data, you're going to make a humongous mistake. Data can be as simple as looking at your Google Analytics. Like, I'll show you my wife's for the past 30 days. Now, again, very, very small business, does not require website traffic, but ignoring things like what people are searching for, they bring them to the site, how they find our site, what pages are showing up in search, where people go, ignoring, you know, ignoring details like this, or looking at, like, where do people actually go look at our website? Like, they go to the homepage, they go to contact us, they look at our trail riding, they look at arena lessons. That's primarily what our people are looking at. And then you can kind of see where they go from there. This is important. If you don't know this information, you could be spending a ton of time trying to optimize a page that no one's really looking for or that no one's visiting. You could be spending a bunch of time trying to get someone to stay on a page where they're already staying on, right? Like, if people are spending an average of 12 seconds on the homepage, it means they're trying to get somewhere, whatever. That's great. Like, you can see where people are spending time, and you can see where they're not, where they're just passing through. So it's really important that you utilize some sort of data, like knowing what people are looking for that's causing you to show up. Because without that information, you're blind. You don't know you don't really know how to solve a problem, because you don't know what the problem is, because you're not looking at any data. We've seen this happen just so many times, and I just always call it out. It's one of the most important things. Don't make marketing decisions based on your feeling. It's a bad indicator. It's a very bad indicator. It's like it's like deciding to make a large purchase without looking at your bank account. Like, if you don't know where you're spending your money, how are you going to know if you can afford to buy the thing? It's the same thing in marketing. If you don't watch your data and you don't pay attention to what's going on your website and in all of your different marketing platforms, then effectively you're running completely blind. And finally, I will say this is maybe one of the sneakier ones, but so many businesses focus primarily on bringing in new clients, and they completely forget to nurture the people that are already clients. I see this a lot with companies that do automotive maintenance, companies that sell recurring products, companies that, do things that need to be done more than one time, but they don't bother to go back to people that have already bought. If someone buys from you, they know you, they like you, they trust you. And if you did a bad job for them, that's a different story. But generally, if you've done a really good job working with somebody and you've served them well in the past, nurturing them back to buy something else from you is a much easier step in the funnel, because in your funnel of people coming through the door, they're already down at the bottom. They already know you, like you, they think you can solve their problem. You've already solved their problem in the past. And so they're a repeat buyer. If you don't nurture those repeat buyers effectively, everyone you bring costs you so much more money. When we look at most businesses, cost of acquisition, bringing a new lead to the table versus cost of taking an existing lead and selling them something else, it is so much less expensive for you to sell to someone that you're already working with versus trying to go get someone new. Yet probably 95% of businesses we talk to only focus on new leads coming through the door. They're not worried at all about how to convert, people that have already bought from them again. So pay attention to your clients that have already bought from you. If they're in one service set and you can get them to buy another one, great. Even if it's just educating them so that they continue to do the service set with you is important. Like, we call it churn in the software space, but like, keeping your existing churn, your churn is how many people leave your services. Keeping that churn amount low helps you make more money with less effort. So a mistake that we know definitely see is people that just don't pay attention to all of their existing client pool. Those are probably 5 of 100 things that we constantly see. I think they might be some of the most important things. So that's all really good stuff for you guys to pay attention to. And if you need help from an actual marketing agency that knows how to do this stuff and can help guide you, whether you need us to do it for you or you just need help making a plan, that's what we're here for. That's what we do. So hit us up and let us know how we can help. Thanks.